Stop. Let me go first. I'm doing something.
Stop. Let me go first. I'm doing something. Ugh. What was it? I was talking to... Oh... There was some meme about it. I'm saying like 55 whatever. It's very funny.
Well, Taco Bell's taken that and ruined it. Yeah, they're like 55 tacos, 55 burritos.
No.
Only at Taco Bell. I'm like, stop it. You're not cool, Taco Bell.
That's not
for you.
Taco Bell corporate.
You should be busy exploiting gay people this month.
Yeah, like every other company.
Gay taco, anybody?
A gay taco?
Alrighty. I'm assuming we're recording now.
Excuse me. Yeah, we started recording.
And we're back. All right.
We took a week off because we went on vacations.
Yes. I'm Drew and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Taylor. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, and welcome back to the Sober Boys podcast. Real quick, I want to say all the views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not reflect the central office of Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or any of the 12-step official programs of that fact. They are just our opinions. They're just that.
Yeah.
This podcast is for entertainment value, and we hope we help some people.
Yeah.
But, don't sue us for nothing.
Because we ain't got nothing.
We ain't got... Oh, boy. Have you seen this? And people who are listening... Hop on over to that YouTube channel and just look. I mean, it's great for Taylor, but there's stuff all over this place.
Well, I did clean up a little bit. Actually,
I'm sorry. It actually looks a lot better.
It looks a lot better. I cleaned up my box collection. Oh, my chair. I cleaned up my box. Hold on. I cleaned up my box collection.
Get comfy.
I cleaned it.
Yeah, get comfy. This is gonna be a groundbreaking episode. Fix your lumbar support.
No, my barber chair my downstairs neighbor loves noise. When I first moved into this apartment, he would hit the ceiling all the time.
Yeah, like an old grandmother with a broom.
And he's a short little guy, so yeah. I think he's
actually a leprechaun.
He's actually a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Little
leprechaun.
What were we talking about? We're back.
Yeah,
we're back in the saddle again.
So we took a week off. We'll discuss pretty much all the way through that podcast. Why we did that.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess we ought to. We owe it to ourselves.
Yeah. There's no not awkward way to do this. So we'll jump right into it. Taylor, you want to tell us where you fucking been, you motherfucker?
Well,
I'm just trying to make you feel as bad as possible.
I got kidnapped by my alcoholism.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way.
I was going to say abducted by aliens, but if aliens were, I relapsed on drugs and alcohol.
Taylor relapsed. Well,
that's what happened.
Mostly
alcohol.
We kind of foreshadowed that in our last episode.
I know, and we tried our hardest not to. And I tried my hardest not to. I shared at meetings about. I thought I was combating it the best way I could. I was calling guys, talking about it. I was sharing about it in meetings, which was one of the other frustrating things. I was like in a meeting, still wanting to drink. I was like, why am I feeling this way right now here? This is insane to feel this way in a meeting.
Yeah.
And like sharing about it, and I'm like, this should alleviate this, and it didn't.
Yeah. So when people go back out,
like I did.
Any person, alcoholic addict that is in a program, they would go back out, relapse, go out for research, whatever you want to talk about. Usually what happens is they quit going to meetings, they quit talking to people, and they isolate. You really didn't do any of that, so that's where the frustration lies.
Yeah, I hit less meetings because of that giant job. I guess the conduit to what really...
But you did not go to as many meetings.
Right. I was still going to meetings.
Were you? And you weren't calling as many guys, were you?
Not as many, but people were calling me, so my calls weren't down like to zero.
But you weren't isolating because you were sharing in those meetings, and we were talking pretty consistently. But you still went back out that Wednesday after we went to a meeting.
Yeah.
Like 2 Wednesdays ago, right?
And I was in,
And so the frustrating thing is, we say do all this stuff, and you still went back out. But that kind of highlights the insidiousness, the baffling, cutting, baffling powerfulness of addiction and alcoholism.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were like other factors in it, but I'll quit fucking telling your story. You can talk a little bit more about it if you want.
Well, so I had what started it probably the cravings initially was me. It seems like every time I get to that point of like 5-6 months around there, it's my pattern at least in the past 2 years.
If you go back and listen to like episode 5 and 6, you were rolling. You're in what we call a big old pink cloud, big puffy pink cloud.
Yeah, and it felt good.
Yeah. You can get yeah.
It wasn't from IKEA. My
No.
pink cloud was from
Doing that work coming back into the program.
yeah. Well, I was hoping you were going to say another store, like a nicer store than IKEA.
Your pink cloud was from the Sharper Image, circa 2003.
Was that like their peak?
Yeah, Brickstone, Sharper Image, circa 2002, 2003.
Because IKEA is whatever.
So you were feeling like nothing could touch you. Borders 2002.
Yeah.
Circuit City 1998.
Where does Bed Bath & Beyond stand?
Bed Bath & Beyond 2012.
Well, what's the peak of like furniture stores?
Oh, I'm just talking about business peaks. Rooms to stay.
What's today? Right
Ashley
now,
Furniture Home.
is that number one? If you were to go, if you had as much money as you wanted,
Shit, I don't know.
where
would you go?
shop for furniture?
Fancy Pants Anonymous. Fancy Pants Plus. I don't know. A chandelier store that also has
This is
couches.
a true historical moment on the podcast. Something Drew doesn't know about
Yeah, I don't know.
furniture stores.
I don't know the
Dang.
I don't know. Ashley Furniture sounds fancy.
What's this? What is this from? Move that bus.
Extreme Home Makeover.
Yes, thank you. Good. At least you
Quit switching the subject. We're going to talk about how you relapse and
Yeah.
point our fingers and say shame, shame, shame. That's what they're here for. We're here to shame you.
55 cheeseburgers, 55 taters. I had this giant job. I was painting the inside of an entire
Yeah,
house. I
we
was
talked
working-
about your giant big ass job.
Yeah.
And
Just
it
to
was
recap.
killing you because you had one helper and then
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
you're
no
like, I'll do it
helpers.
myself.
And
so
it took like, I had a bunch of 12+ hour days, and it just really started to exhaust me in a way I have never really experienced. I've done days where I work. I've had a 16-hour day before, but that's one. That many days in a row, because in my brain, I'm like, I can be like a West Virginia coal miner and work 12-hour plus days and have pride in that.
yeah.
And then I don't do that. That's not
Bring
what
that lunch in that
Yeah,
tin
yeah.
tin can.
a clamshell.
The clamshell.
And it really just exhausted me in a way I haven't ever experienced before.
Yeah.
And I wanted relief, and I wasn't finding relief in calling guys, or I don't know. I wasn't finding relief at all.
Yeah.
And my mental state was
Sometimes it's as simple as that. It's like you're really tired, and then I guess you kind of, without trying, it just naturally you were isolating yourself in this job.
yeah.
So you're kind of self-isolating, and then maybe, it's easy to play Monday morning AA quarterback,
First string.
armchair quarterback, whatever have you, and say, I should have done that. I should have done this. The point is, for me, and I'm a guy that relapsed constantly. And so all the time I would get bogged down in like, what the fuck happened? Why did I do that, this and the other? And I would say sometimes it's a waste of time to focus, to play armchair Monday morning AA quarterback and be like, I should have done that. But
what is this podcast but wasting time?
yeah, I don't know. I had a point and then I lost it. Sometimes it's a waste of time to get bogged down in that.
Yeah. And I haven't been too bogged down on it right now.
No,
I've been trying to not drink is what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, the beauty of it is you're back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty cool. Well, no, you're not.
Did
Did you drink it last night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So I'm back,
Yeah.
but I'm half in, half out.
See, I knew it kind of when I was like, you're not coming to the meeting.
Well, so I had,
working?"
well, that was my excuse. I had, because I was finishing this job.
You got beers in the fridge right now?
No, I do
Okay.
not have anything in here. And that's for your safety.
I don't give it. I'm in I'm
Yeah.
in the 10-step promises, man.
Drew's
you
doing
can
good.
throw alcohol in my face.
But I finished up a painting job yesterday, and the guy I did the job for, he came
Offered
up
you
with
a beverage?
he came up with a beer in his hand. He's like, "Oh, you want a beer?" And I was like, "Oh, you caught me at my weakest moment."
Okay.
So
All right.
it's very hard to say no.
All right. So we're here. We're at one day.
We're at day
We'll keep-
one,
Day one.
0 days.
Progress. I did so prog.
But I haven't been. Obviously, I'm not violently hungover or anything. I'm.
Yeah.
I'm not. I haven't been doing. I only smoked meth that first night, and that was a real party in here. It was a real party in here.
I
Smoked
called
meth.
you. I was like, "Where'd you get meth? Do you have a dealer's number or something?"
No, my friend told me a dirty trick that you can go on Grindr and
Oh,
find
that's right.
meth.
We talked about that.
And when you tell sober Taylor a dirty trick about drugs, drunk Taylor remembers that trick.
Yeah, remember that?
I remember.
Go on Grindr and disappoint gay people who are looking for sex.
A bunch of guys were disappointed.
Yeah, because you're a type.
Twink?
I would say like
weasel.
Yeah.
I don't know what the type.
You're not an otter because you're not tall. I'm an otter.
Yeah.
But
what am I? A mole? Fox.
Weasel.
I don't know what.
You're not a fox.
What's a fox? Old guy.
You're like a sexy cockroach.
Sexy cockroach.
It's like pronounced like that, where you're like a Texas leprechaun.
Cockroach. That's how.
I know I mentioned
Tony
leprechaun
Montana
twice.
would. Tony Montana would say a cockroach.
Yeah. Cockroach. You're a little Montana sidekick.
So it's a little dumb. Yeah. If I were like in a drug gang, I would definitely not be the kingpin.
No.
I think.
You'd be like, good one, boss.
What would you be? Like what position?
I don't know. I would be like a guy with too many nicknames because it couldn't peg me.
Slicky Slim.
Yeah. You never know where he is.
Yeah.
Slimy Dan.
Slimy Dan. No, I thought about it before.
So you did that meth and you've been kind of petering around drinking beers here and there ever since.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to stop?
Yes. Yes, the answer is yes.
No, like honestly.
The answer deep down is yes. Because I just don't feel like I feel like I'm kind of just like floating through. Because I'm not doing comedy right now. I'm on the show tonight. But I also don't really want to do comedy. I'm kind of taking a break because I think comedy is...
Comedy's so...
It really...
2 months ago.
It really causes me a lot of...
stress.
Emotional stress. And I'll go on Instagram and look at someone's post, and I'm mad and annoyed immediately. And I hate the way it's making me feel, like about other people. And I feel like I need to just distance myself from how it makes me feel. I'm doing that show tonight, but then next Friday I'm going out of town for the 4th.
All right.
So I'll be gone.
Going with family?
Yeah, just to Ohio. The great state of Ohio.
Yeah.
The greatest state in the Union, Ohio.
I'm trying to think of like... So I wanted to stop my last time I stopped, but I think there was a bigger threat of my parents and my family and my fiance quit enabling me and kind of gave me an ultimatum of going to rehab. Have you ever been to rehab?
No, I've been to an intake before.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that because I wanted to keep my job.
Yeah,
and so I had a good sponsor that I went back to. And that got me in the meetings, and then I just finally did the work, and I liked, the fellowship and the group of guys that I, established, the relationships that I established, and it just kind of happened that way. Like I said, it's hard to explain what happened, why it was different than the 10, 12 times that I relapsed.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately you got to decide. You're never gonna stay sober for other things other than yourself,
right?
So you gotta,
The answer is
look
yes,
deep down,
because my life goes a lot better and is a lot easier. I did do. Maybe this is a good stepping direction, the right direction to step in. I was supposed to go power wash this guy's deck and then paint it, and I just told him I can't do it.
There you go.
Just because
put that foot down.
Yeah. Because it is weird for me to be the only guy in this business of me and be like, I have to kind of like stick up for myself.
It's like the actor who's finally getting work. They have to learn how to not say yes to everything.
Yeah. And it's because I understand if a client gets frustrated, but then I start getting mad in my head at the clients that they don't like, now they're treating me like shit because they don't even know too much work I've been doing.
I don't want this to be a therapy session, but geez, Taylor, it seems like you want everyone to love you all the fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta get over. Yeah. And
then my fear
that's
is
like the natural thing for me too. It is like, oh shit, what if like I had like a snafu or a problem happen at work, a kerfuffle, if you will.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've
where
never done that.
I had an employee who was sick. and he told me like literally like an hour before he was supposed to come into work, and he was the only person that was supposed to head that up.
Yeah.
And I was scrambling, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the client would be all freaked out, but I finally found somebody. Anyways, it worked itself out and it was all good. But there was one point in my head where I'm like, that's not going to work out. Everyone's going to hate me. I'm going to lose my job, and I'm going to go into my hole where no one likes me.
Yeah.
Like that's, you paint yourself just like a incredible, fantastical negative picture very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So it seems like where you're living.
Yeah. Well, I took on too much work all out of nowhere. Just like I started getting so many texts here and there from potential jobs and quoting jobs and stuff. And it just out of nowhere, it like, I was like, oh, I have way too much work. And what else?
You got to find that balance.
Yeah. Which I did today. I just had to say, sorry, I can't do
No.
it. Well, then my fear is like, oh, because I told this guy I can't do it. Now, if I make another post on like the Facebook group, like the neighborhood group, I'll say, hey, I'm Taylor, I handyman stuff. Then he'll comment, oh, he quoted me, and then he didn't do the work he said he quoted me for. That's my fear. Like he'll comment on me advertising my work.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So it's a lot of like needing people to like, also like it's ultimately fear.
Yeah.
It's the big one. It's the fear and everything.
Yeah.
I live in it. It's difficult to combat that fear by myself. Well,
no, here's what I want to do. I want to be sober all next week into Ohio, because I do not want to drink with my family in Ohio.
Well, shit, that's on you, man. That's on you, player. That's on you, player. Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. I would love to continue this podcast. By the way, we're not reading a lick of the book today. We're just going to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
But I would love to get back into what we were doing.
Yeah.
I would love to expand on what we're doing here. This is, like I've told people in meetings, this is by far my favorite meeting of the week. By the way, meeting is defined as two alcoholics talking about this shit together. That's all a meeting is. So I'd like to continue that, and that's just selfish on my part. You will not 99.9% positive you will not stay sober if you're like, I got to do it for the podcast.
No.
Because you tried that already.
A little bit, yeah. I guess.
Or 99.9% you will not stay sober. Be like, I don't want to, for my family.
Yeah.
Because the alcoholism or the disease that we've mentioned in like the doctor's opinion, shout out, episode 2 and 3, it does not give a shit about the people in your life.
Yeah.
You just try to get fucked up and comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Should I, here's how, what I've been saying a lot lately is just like, I guess to talk about like, I definitely do admit, whatever, all that I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. It's weird how the drug
You're fine with step one.
Yeah. It's weird how the drug addict part, though, the more this progresses, the more that, like, is what it becomes, is more drugs.
You feel more a drug addict than an alcoholic.
Yes.
I think you always have, though.
Yeah. That's true. But is because I think
it's the same, but this is the same allergy that's mentioned. It's like
it
once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah,
type thing.
The Pringles mentality.
Yeah, it's the Pringles mentality. It's the same thing. Like I have a sponsee right now that is just a drug addict.
Yeah,
but he's coming to AA meetings because the fellowship's a whole lot better.
Yeah,
at least in Atlanta, it varies.
Yeah.
But the AA fellowship's a whole lot better.
Lithuania? We don't know.
Yeah, NA is probably better than Lithuania.
Alaska?
Liechtenstein?
No idea.
Who knows?
Liechtenstein? They're addicted to cheese over there.
But anyways, it's the same thing. That's what I've told him. It's the, we're reading Bill's story, but you can just supplant alcoholism or alcohol for the pills that you were addicted to.
But I was saying to, I think I said it to you, I said to now I'm going to say it to the audience of this.
You can't. We still change names.
Damn it.
Strush.
I forgot all the rules about our podcast. Take 1 week off, you forget.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'll bleep that. It was...
you got to bleep it.
It was Santa Claus once again.
Santa Claus.
But I was saying, like, I don't have alcoholism any worse or any less than anyone else. But whatever version I have is, like, the worst it can be for me.
Sure.
And I
get what you're saying.
I keep saying this, and I really want it to sound prophetic and like really beautiful. And it doesn't. It doesn't at all, which really.
But the first part's good because it's the same. We react the same way.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. We're amputees. Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's no changing our minds.
Yeah.
And if there is a pill, Antabuse or something like that, that would make us sick if we drink.
Naltrexone?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. What's Antabuse?
Antabuse makes you throw up if you drink.
That's it, yeah.
It's like syrup of Ipecac, but just
yeah. What there's pills out there that like make you gives you physical harm if you drink, but it doesn't take away that thirst.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away that need to feel comfortable.
I pretty much always have Antabuse in my system because when I drink, I always throw up so much. And that doesn't deter me once I get to a place.
Yeah, you just keep going.
Which the throwing up, I think my body physically, like, I don't know how many more times I can take throwing up that much because my stomach was swollen and like it felt like I was going to rip a hole in my intestines.
That sounds like you probably should have gone to the hospital.
I almost did. Yeah. I almost had someone take me to the hospital.
Yeah, and that's another thing to point out. You went out for like a week. It was like a bender, and you're still drinking, so you're still kind of out.
I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah. So this is like you're at a crossroads. So sorry to be matter of fact.
No, you're
buddy.
fine. Well, I don't. It's weird. I don't feel like doing drugs.
I'm not mad. I'm not
Drew's
mad.
So mad
I'm not.
Guys, what do you think of Drew being mad?
I'm not
this week?
happy.
This week on the podcast, Drew's mad.
I'm just trying to be as matter of fact as I possibly can. Sorry. And it's ultimately up to you.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is coming from a guy it's taken me 10 years. So I
can still beat you.
I ain't got no fucking you can still beat me. I ain't got no fucking soapbox to stand on.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that the obsession to drink, like I don't think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was gone for me.
Yeah, and it came back.
It came back.
Interesting.
But it seems to go away for me for a little bit and then come back.
Yeah. And
I don't know what the plan of action should be going forward for that if I get there again.
Doing different stuff.
Yeah.
So
someone did recommend a long-term commitment.
Which long-term commitment of what?
Like for a group. For a meeting, a long-term commitment.
Okay.
Like something longer than a month.
Like a home group?
Sure. Like you did coffee for
like a service position.
Yeah, service.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
No,
it's like
a rat.
I don't know.
An AA rat. Keep it alive for its life.
You get a ponce a lot. Just go to a group conscience. So what you do to get a service position is, and a service position can just be like cleanup or setup or coffee. And that's really, if I was to get in the nitty gritty of like what changed, so I had a year-long service position.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, well, I got it. I mean,
yeah.
Even when I was like struggling, thinking back, the last time I came back, I had a couple months where I was like, just don't fucking drink.
Yeah.
It was like a pact that I made with myself and whatever God that I kind of believed in at the time. And so there was like struggle in the first couple of months.
Yeah.
But I had that service position. So that's a great suggestion. Say your day count at the meetings. Just shake that like embarrassment. Yeah, there's like an embarrassment and a shame that I felt whenever I came back.
It's weird. I didn't, because I picked up 2 white chips this past week, and I didn't really feel. It felt kind of good.
Yeah. You didn't pick up white chips last time, did you?
No.
Yeah, so that's already a change.
So maybe that's the difference. Maybe I feel like there's always
you got to pick up another white chip after the next meeting.
The next meeting I go to, I definitely will. But
what's today?
I feel today is Saturday. I feel like
June 24th could be your sobriety date.
That's a good date.
Yeah.
It's so close to. Comes after Juneteenth.
I mean, that's the beauty of this thing is you get another birthday.
No.
So.
I was talking to someone this past week, that girl, who was just so in love with me.
Yeah.
But
she thought she could fix you.
That did feel. That was weird.
Yeah.
Why did it feel like that?
I don't know. And I was coming in.
Did you get those vibes?
Yeah, I was coming in hot just to like talk to you, and the female at the meeting was like, "It's all right."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't want to cock block," but
she wasn't my type.
Yeah.
And I don't need it. I think another thing.
What was the point we were trying to make? I'm sorry.
Every time I've come back in and then gone back out, there has always been like a little tiny bit of dishonesty.
Yeah.
That I wasn't. The last time when I came back in this time, like, started coming to Boys to Men. We reconnected. I had like 30 days and I smoked DMT at a music festival.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell my sponsor. I was like, it's not alcohol, whatever. And then maybe that was a bit of a dishonest thing. And then there was something else this past time that I think, but I can't remember what it was.
You did some other thing?
I didn't get high or drink or anything and not tell anyone. So I'm not sure what it was. It was something. There is one big giant amends I need to make. Okay. I've made all my amends except for this one.
Maybe you just quit working. You
don't work so hard.
Don't work so fucking hard.
Don't work so fucking hard.
No. Like maybe you kind of took a break in the action and the steps.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Feeling better in a 12 and 12 program, in my experience, always relies in what action you're doing in the steps.
Yeah.
What service you're doing in the meetings. Mm-hmm. I feel a whole lot better when I go to meetings consistently.
Yeah.
So we say 90 and 90 here. Yeah. Have we talked about that?
Oh, yeah.
So
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone hears it all the time. It's like, go to 90 meetings in 90 days if you're just coming back or new.
Oh, are you going to say the science?
Yeah.
Oh, here comes
Huberman
Dr.
shit.
Drew.
I'm like,
Dr.
it's about to get a Huberman
Dr.
podcast.
Dr. DQ.
So it's talked about why do we stay 90 and 90? Well, a lot of like in AA, that's just what you say.
Yeah.
But in reality, when you're coming in, you're trying to quit whatever substance you're addicted to or you have to use every day. It's your brain. It's basically your dopamine levels are down once you come down.
Well, I thought about this. This is so crazy. I thought about this last night because I was in this job. I think me being isolated by myself at work isn't always the best because I'm working by myself. And yesterday I was painting a master bathroom and there was no light in there and it's just dark all day. And then I'm like, it must be raining outside. And I come back outside and it's sunny. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm just like, I'm isolated in there by myself, just listening to podcasts all day.
I'm gonna do a recording for you to help you when you're by yourself. Well, wait, but your dopamine levels are down. All right, what were you going to say?
And then I was thinking, because I was in the shower, like, I can't wait to get a giant Twisted Tea after this job. And I was thinking, and then I remembered, like, oh, my dopamine is down. And Drew said the other day, I remember you telling me this specific
it's true.
thing. But I felt that with
you have a trough. And your brain's like, you got to get your dopamine levels up.
Yeah.
You can't do that without the substance you're using. Please use something, a drug, a drink, something to get your dopamine levels up. Yeah. Please. And your brain's giving you that signal for at least 70 through 90 days.
Yeah.
And after the 90th day or whatever, in between that window of 70 to 90 days, your brain quits like, I guess you won't be using stuff. Yeah. Here are your dopamine levels. They're more level now.
Yeah.
And that's like the pink cloud you feel.
Yeah.
Some people feel it earlier than others, but like the pink cloud is just like your brain has quit telling yourself to use shit.
Yeah.
And you feel better pretty much just through high on life type shit. And so we say go to 90 meetings in 90 days because you feel like shit. Mm-hmm. So you distract yourself feeling like shit, isolated or whatnot with a meeting.
Yeah.
So you replace whatever you're using with a meeting. Is it better than what you're using? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Not at that moment, but some days might be better and you might connect with somebody and you might be of service or you might feel a little bit better that day. And at the very least, you'll get distracted. Mm-hmm. That's why we say 90 meetings in 90 days.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pause. This is you're going to go to episode 14.
Yeah.
What time do we have?
28:46.
All right, 29.
29 seconds.
Taylor, you're working alone. You want to get a Twisted Tea right now. Don't do that. That's fucking stupid. You're not fucking stupid. Your alcoholism is fucking stupid and trying to take control of that shit. Call me, your sponsor, or plan a meeting to go to now.
Yeah.
You want to get sober for yourself.
Yeah.
Deep breath in, deep breath out. You're killing it, man. Not yourself, in terms of the job that you're doing. I'm proud of you, bud.
Taylor, this is you from the past.
What the fuck? This is fucking crazy.
Taylor, don't do it. Don't you want to wake up tomorrow without a headache? Don't you want to if you have one big Twisted Tea, guess what happens after one?
5?
3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
And you know what happens when
Grandmaster Flash
you
and the
have that
Furious
many,
5 in the background.
then you probably want to go smoke crack
What?
or trick a bunch of gay men on grinders.
Don't-
They have meth.
Do you
Don't
really
do
want to
that.
disappoint gay men? You are a type. You're an attractive short king type.
There it is. That's what
Yeah.
it is. The short king.
Yeah.
Because we were floundering earlier on what we should come up with. I'm definitely not a flounder for gays.
No.
Flounders for gays. I'm gonna start.
You're a short king ferret.
Flounders for gays. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably what it is. Ferret a one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're making it up. Anyways, there's no need to trick gay
No.
guys into giving you meth.
No. I gotta pee.
And scene.
Keep giving future Taylor more inspiration.
Okay. Think of all the stuff that you will miss out if you keep going on Grindr and tricking gay guys into giving you meth. You'll miss out on this podcast. You'll miss out on making me continue the podcast with saying things out of my mouth while I wait on you to finish peeing. Because we don't edit anymore. Why? Laziness. My computer's too old. You don't wanna. We've neglected any initial suggestions that we've had from my podcast producing sister. And this is just, sometimes it goes off the rails. Anyways, I hope that was enough of a break for you and you're more level-headed. I hope your job continues and you flourish in this handyman oasis. Goodbye. All right, I did it.
Don't tell me what you said. It's a surprise for future.
It's a surprise for you.
It's a surprise for future me. We're back. I peed.
That's pretty quick.
I pee quick.
Yeah.
I do. I am upset. I have a billing from LabCorp
Okay.
because I had an STD test.
How did it go?
I passed.
Hey, there
But
you
now
go.
they sent me-
Ladies.
I'm clean. But the CVS Minute Clinic said they might send me a bill, and then they said just send it to your insurance. But I don't want to do that extra step.
No, extra steps are the worst.
I hate extra steps, and I'm not in the mindset of extra steps right now. Don't you
I've been
understand?
ignoring IRS
Hey,
shit. for a long
LabCorp, don't you
time.
understand? I've been drinking, and this is just another frustration and an excuse to make me want to drink.
All right. Well, there's going to be a moment today.
When I should listen to this episode?
Yeah, or like where you're going to be like, oh, I want another Twisted Tea, probably.
Yeah. Well, the plan is for the rest of today is I'm going to go to the driving range, hit some golf balls.
Yeah,
'cause
dude.
I'm going to golf when I'm home in Ohio.
Get it living sober. It's a
And then-
cheesy book to tell you what else to do other than drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's solutions everywhere.
I have that show tonight where I got to eat hot peppers.
What?
It's called Hot Pepper Comedy, and you
It's that dynamic Eldorado.
yeah, and you eat a very spicy pepper. And
Is it
then
a
you-
ghost pepper?
No,
Oh.
that would be awful.
Yeah.
No, those are like I couldn't imagine. The ones he chose are like Speranos or no, not Serranos.
Speranos?
Soprano peppers.
Hey,
Gabagoo.
gabagoo. It just ends randomly.
Yeah, I've never seen the show, but someone did tell me it ends very vaguely.
Yeah, you get to make up your own ending. That's not why I watched the show.
No,
Tell me what happened.
they really wow. Wasn't it like 7 seasons or 8 seasons? or
7
something?
seasons.
That's like the perfect amount. Did you watch Barry?
Yeah,
What'd you think?
I've turned. I hated the finale ending, and now I really love it.
Wait, did I finish it?
You would probably remember if you finished it.
I didn't finish it. I'm
Oh,
not
shit,
finished.
dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've been watching it, but I haven't finished
it's
it.
a really they swung for something. They
Yeah.
really went for something, and I in the heat of it,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
This is not how I wanted it
Yeah.
to end.
Yeah.
But then I gave it some time, and I was like, damn, that was pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give it away since you haven't seen
It
it.
was a good series overall, though. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. But then I have that show tonight, and then that's all I have planned right now.
Yeah. So when you go to a meeting,
I could squeeze one in. Which one could I squeeze in?
do you want to go to the late night meeting at Triangle? I'll meet you there.
What time?
10.
Show's at 10.
Ah,
Yeah.
you can go to a meeting before that.
I could. I think I'm going to go hang
East
out.
Atlanta,
That
8
was at
o'clock?
8 o'clock. I could go to that
8 to
one.
9.
I could go to that one.
You could.
I could.
So again, these are all mere suggestions.
I know. My friend. I did tell my friend I would come hang out with him at this other show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, it's interesting because when people come back in meetings, you don't really, I like that we're talking about all this because you don't ever really talk about it. It's all just kind of unspoken.
Yeah.
And we're like, glad you're back.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, I wonder what happened. He went back out and, he's back in.
Mm-hmm.
And some guys judge people for that.
Yeah.
Fuck them for judging them. But sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
And
Like, do you think it's like outright judgment or subconscious judgment?
Both.
Yeah.
And that judgment is what really kindles or sets fuel to the fire of that shame fire of the person coming back.
Yeah.
And so, in reality, it's probably like 90% of the guys at our like home group, if you're coming back, getting your white shit, saying your days, are so glad you're fucking back.
Yeah.
And here with open arms and here to do whatever you like, just to serve you and being back and just glad that you're here. And then it's 10% of guys, 5% subconsciously judging, and 5% are just like not in a good place judging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Well, it's weird. Like the one guy I thought like, oh, this guy's going to yell at me. He shook my hand.
Good.
I was like, why do I make up all these awful? It's like the older I get, the harder it is for me to deal with my own thinking.
Whenever I came back into the meetings, I was so afraid to go, especially the big ones. Like when High Noon was popping off, I always went there and I was like, people are going to look at me.
Yeah.
And we're so in self and in ego.
And it's
Most of the time, people don't give a shit. Let me rephrase that. So it's 80% of the people who love you and their support, 10% of people who don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
5 judging, 5 subconsciously judging.
Some people are just nuts.
Yeah.
There are some people in AA meetings that are just like, I don't know if you're an alcoholic or you're just nuts. And
Yeah.
You're here.
Well, glad you're here.
There's that one lady that has a dog at.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm talking
Woo! Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The dog lady.
about? She's wild.
She is, and that's just
That's not
a lot
is that
of chemical
alcoholism?
imbalance.
Yeah, it's very
no.
weird.
There's a woman, and
We won't give away money specifics.
woo,
We
she
don't
got
want
a
anyone-
dog that she brings.
We don't want anyone to pick it out, but
Yeah.
it tried to bite me once. But it's a cute little dog.
Yeah, and like not far from the tree.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
And I was there, and I was like, that makes sense.
And she shares, and it's like, this is...
This is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You depress me, and you have a chemical imbalance that I hope you find the pills that work and find that balance so you can feel better.
Some people in AA are not...
Sorry to be all judgy and but that's just them's the facts sometimes.
I wonder, do you think there are people that come to AA that aren't alcoholics that are just like, not, I don't know if predators are the right word, but they're just like, they just
there's a
prey
whole
on-
weird documentary about that called The 13th Step.
Oh, really?
And it is not, I don't suggest,
Yeah.
I don't condone that documentary. It's not the greatest documentary, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I go to this big clubhouse.
Yeah.
If I could say, I'll go to Triangle, and I go during the day and the weekends, and that's a really good meeting.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's guys in the back that stand up and talk gobbledygook nonsense, and I was like, we're in a trap house. They can easily shoot this place up.
Yeah.
And that does not always happen in my brain, but it happens when they share crazy shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I tend to stick to the in-town neighborhood meetings.
I've been hearing this a lot in meetings lately, and people mentioning like, they've been throwing in sprigs of like, will capitalism ever end? Something like just throwing in like pinches.
Oh, that guy who did a whole like poetry slam.
And no, that was a lot of that. But this girl the other night was
What, Lagoon, when Lagoon shared.
Yeah,
his,
Lagoon.
Yeah.
But then this girl mentioned just like pontificating about the world. Oh, will capitalism ever end? It's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What is this about?
Well, everyone's in their own shit, dealing with their own stuff. And the majority of people are there to get well and help other people get well. And that's what you got to focus on.
Yeah.
You got to focus on is like, how can I be of service to a person who's worse off, who feels worse off than me right now, and then go towards that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very easy to, sit in a meeting and be like, God damn, that person's nuts.
Yeah.
And for me, I keep saying don't do it. I'll try to be more, if I get bogged down in like that gossip or that judgment.
Yeah, you just went to your relapse episode.
Yeah.
And then see how it feels.
Yeah. The relapse special.
Yeah.
You're going to call this the relapse special?
You might as well.
Yeah. The one where Taylor relapses, like Friends.
Was that a?
Well, the Friends, their titles are the one with the one that.
I haven't seen any Friends ever, so I know what it is.
Oh, you know what Friends is? You know what
That's what you and I are.
the one of the world's most popular and successful sitcoms in the history of television.
I remember
Cool.
Friends was on once when I was in college.
I'm sure it was.
This is summer. Well, let me tell you the story, and then maybe you'll change your tune. We were in college, and there were snakes everywhere. Was that what you were expecting?
No, you got me with that one.
Snakes were everywhere, Drew.
Was
Maybe
Samuel L. Jackson nearby?
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired of all these snakes in Taylor's apartment.
Yeah.
End of story.
They stole
You
your
weren't
story.
expecting that story at all. No, it was between some grades of college, years of college, and between 13th and 14th grade.
Taylor just keeps counting. What grade?
I'm in 15th.
I'm in the 15th grade. So you're in college. Oh, yes. Some people call it that. Dude keeps counting his grades. He's a doctor. He said he's in the 20th grade.
Yeah.
He's graduating med school. That's a tism thing.
Oh.
Got a touch of the tism.
Yeah.
That's a Theo Von quote. I stole that from him.
This story wasn't even that great.
Okay,
it was
something with
about,
Friends.
It was like, Friends was on TV, and I bought an 8-ball of the worst cocaine I'd ever had in my entire life.
Oh man,
it
those mids.
No, it was like
powder.
below. It was like wouldn't even get you high.
Ugh.
It was really
You
bad.
sure it wasn't just like sugar?
It was probably very little cocaine and a bunch of baby powder or something.
Ugh.
So that was the
story?
And Friends was on TV.
Boo.
Friends was on TV.
What episode was it? Did Ross have
remember.
his dumb little monkey?
I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the world's widest show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it is pretty much the world's widest show.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
What were we talking about before the 12th grade?
I don't know.
This is the best riff I've ever heard about 12th. 15th
Oh,
grade,
how I was like
20th
judging and being a jerk to these crazy people at the meeting. That's really mean.
Yeah.
Drew's mean episode.
Yeah, some people just bring in their woo and stuff. Like
Yeah.
talk about crystals and the planets. I'm like, oh, okay. But then that is like
That adds a little spice to the meeting.
it does. That's when I
You can get to make eye contact with your friends in the meeting and be like, this is looking good.
Yeah.
One dude who is, you missed this at meeting last night.
Oh boy.
And I was really bad because I kind of gossiped about it, but here I am doing it, continuing. One dude is from Complete Abandon,
Okay.
which is an AA cult here in Atlanta.
Yes. Complete Abandon is bad, right?
Mostly.
It's interesting when people do share, like, it does have a place.
It shouldn't.
I don't know,
think.
but
I don't think it should.
Yeah.
In terms of like talking to people who are outside of Complete Abandon,
Yeah.
I think it does more harm than it does good.
Yeah.
This is just my experience
Yeah.
with people who are outside of it. Anyways, dude's from Complete Abandon, and he talked about how he had a friend that went to a Braves game, and now he's back out drinking. And I was like, whoa, what?
That's the reason.
And I went to my friend. I was like, shit, I got season tickets to the Braves game. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And so that's my example of not letting the
That's
crazy
not gossip.
go.
That's hilarious.
I thought it was pretty funny.
What he said. That's why
He
his
went
friends
out.
were-
Well, and then Bark, who was
Yeah.
sitting next to me.
Give me a hint.
Bark.
Who's Bark?
He's another handyman. He's big dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bark.
He was like, fuck, dude. I had a friend that went out for lunch. Now I never saw him again. I was like, you're much funnier than I ever will be. That's hilarious.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
He woke up one morning. He sleeps with covers on his bed.
It's sad though. The people in this cult think they're right. They're right.
Man, what else did he share about?
What if we're wrong and they're right?
Yeah.
Can't be.
What else did he share about?
I don't know. He's always so serious.
what's
The
the
dude
po-
that shared.
Do I know him?
I
seen
He's
him?
got glasses.
I might know who he is. Blondish hair?
No.
Do you know his name? Tell me off the mic, then you can tell me who he
Can you
is.
pause it?
Uh,
Are you gonna fucking bleep? You better bleep this
I'll just
part
bleep
out.
it. I'll just
Can you
bleep
bleep it
it. Yeah.
out? All right. It's because if he hears, I don't think
Yeah.
he would hear this.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd come after me.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
I'm not sure. Oh, wait. Oh,
With glasses.
yes, I know.
He's
who
at
that
No
is.
Expectations all the time.
Didn't he come
Anyways.
to Boys to Men once?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he was completely.
I talked to him when I first came back in. I got his number.
Yeah,
and
you
I
were
gave him
saying-
a call. I don't really have but I had a long resentment towards this individual for a long time when I was just like feeling it out.
Yeah.
I don't resentments towards anybody
Yeah.
anymore. I'm just like, ooh, that's the dangerous thing to say now. But I called him up and I was like, hey, I'm getting off work late, just making some calls
Yeah.
since I couldn't make it to a
Yeah.
meeting. And he goes, why couldn't you make it to a meeting? I'm like, because I was working late, and this is kind of my meeting. I'm talking to guys. He's like, well, where are you right now? Go to a meeting now. I don't know. I take my sobriety. I think of my sobriety first. That's what he said. I was like, oh wow, it's gonna be like that. All right, bye. Yeah, bye. Like, that was the conversation, and that led to a 6-month-long resentment towards that guy.
Insane.
And then I heard he was in complete abandon, and it went away. I was like, oh, bless his heart.
Yeah. He would have hated when I was working. He would have hated Taylor on his big giant job. That's crazy.
Why are you doing that job?
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess he has his thing. But people, when they're in that situation, how does he not know like the stigma around complete abandon in Atlanta? How do they keep doing it?
Ignore it.
Is that what they do? They just ignore that?
They're in their own world, in their own. Because
don't they have like
it's based on like one of the
something?
founders in Dorville. Yeah, it's based on one of the founders of that AA cult having like 2 degrees of separation from Dr. Bob.
Okay.
And they're like, this is how they did it back in the day. And you can't be like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You're being, and they take like pills away. I didn't mean for this to become a complete abandoned podcast. I'm sure there's other like AA cults in other cities and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's problematic.
But it's an Atlanta thing.
This is meant to be solely based on Taylor's relapse.
Yes.
We got to keep it focused on.
And why this time I'm trying out complete abandon. I'm going to give it a try and see if it works. But I didn't realize complete abandon was just a Atlanta thing.
Yeah, it's just an Atlanta thing.
Because Ohio doesn't have that.
No. There's a bunch of weird AA cults in California. I just haven't I say a bunch. I've heard of 2.
California Sober? That's a weird one.
Yeah, there's another one I forgot. I talked to another friend that was from California about it. Anyways, this is an Anything Goes podcast.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider going to rehab if this doesn't work?
I don't know. Maybe. I have my own health insurance now, so maybe it depends what they would approve.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't do anything besides just get me away from
we talked earlier in a podcast about what if I could just like move away and just, use drugs and at like Florida or something like that.
That would work very well.
Yeah. Just what is plan A, B, and C? What do you think?
Right now?
Yeah.
AA is plan A. Plan A is AA. Plan B?
Yeah, what's plan B?
I don't have any other plans.
Okay.
I haven't really had any other plans. I haven't really thought about because AA would be just do that. And then, because there's no end of doing that.
The reality of my situation was I used to, when I went back out, be like, hey, it never really fully worked for me. But I was like, it did when I did the work.
Yeah.
Like what we talked about. It did when I was fully invested in it. And then I feel like finally now I'm like, oh, it doesn't take 100% all of me all the time to be invested.
Yeah.
For it. You know what I mean?
Plan B, move to Ohio.
Yeah, move to Ohio, back with your family.
Yeah. But I don't want to do that. I want to move to Austin in a year or something.
Get on that Kill Tony stage.
Yeah. And the rest
you better
history.
You better have a fucking strong ass program before you go into
I know. Yeah, well, that's also another thing. I can't do.
Of course, yeah.
I can't do any of the things I really want to do, because I've had this thought last night. Oh, I could just be a handyman and come home and drink 6 beers and go to bed and just do that. But that is such a lonely life.
Do you think you could keep that up?
No, probably not.
It's a small life.
It's a small life. It's isolating.
Makes me
sad. It's the way I've been living the past week has been. I mean, I've been to a few meetings. I've seen you and called guys on the phone. But other than that, I haven't really had much of a social life. It's I need a social life.
Yeah.
I can see how your life gets small. I've never had the experience of drinking between meetings, though. Like going to a meeting, getting a white chip, drinking that night.
Yeah, this is new.
That's new. It's a new thing, and it's not very. It
it
does make me feel a bit like a bad boy, though.
I was about to say, when I was really struggling, I wasn't giving it all, and I had a resentment towards AA.
Yeah.
I would go to a meeting and be like, they don't know what we're talking about. And then go like this to the gas station, get the beers, and be like, see meeting in my head.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me what to do.
Yeah. And this episode isn't. It's not supposed to be one of those AA doesn't work for Taylor. It doesn't work. I imagine no one listening to this it has that. Nobody on the fence of sobriety is probably listening to this podcast.
No.
I don't think. It's mostly our friends. So, hey, friends, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Well, I want ultimately, obviously I want the very best for you, but I do want to reiterate, shit's not going to work unless you really want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take some uncomfortability in the first week.
Yeah.
So, like, call your guys when you're like, oh, it's time for another Twisted Tea.
Yeah, that's when I need to call people the most.
When you're at the gas station looking at it,
About to check out. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Never mind.
Let me get a...
Put him back.
I did that once when I was 22.
Yeah.
I went to Candler Park Market, buying a big old thing of beer. I don't know what it was. And then there's this really hot checkout girl.
Yeah.
This is before Jess was in my life and stuff. A really hot checkout girl. And she had like a straight edge tattoo.
Yeah.
I asked what the tattoo meant and everything. She's like straight edge and everything. And so
What's straight edge? I've heard of it. It's just people that don't do anything, but
don't do anything
but
out of like
they still skateboard.
Almost out of like hipster spite.
They still skateboard and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, they still skateboard. Anyways, I wanted to like impress the hot girl, so I was like, just kidding. I want to return this giant beer. You've inspired me to give sobriety another shot.
Whoa.
That was the whole thing I said as
Really?
a 21-year-old.
Whoa, what'd you think?
She's like, whatever.
But straight edge is a real thing, right? It's just people that they don't drink or get high.
Yeah,
aren't they kind of like assholes?
They're the
though?
most insufferable of the bunch.
Oh.
No, I don't know. Each person is different.
Yeah.
Each person, but like straight edge is like I'm doing what the Mormons do, but I also skateboard and listen to rock music.
I'm in a band.
Bleh.
That's a real wild existence. But then
It's most punk rock, not doing any of this shit like that. That's straight edge. That's like the vibe.
Yeah. No, we'll be back.
Yeah. We'll so next episode we'll get back into step 4.
Yeah.
You did the natural thing. You relapsed right when we're doing step 4, man.
Crazy. I think I might have to get a new sponsor though.
I thought you said you did get a new sponsor.
I did. I said I think I should. I'm thinking about that one guy.
Oh, you were still? I thought he was already that.
No, I gotta ask him. I think he.
Well,
would.
Jesus
I love
Christ,
him.
call him after this goddamn meeting.
Oh, don't
do
give me
it.
suggestions that make sense.
Yeah.
I hate suggestions that make sense. I could do right now.
God damn. What other? There's other guys too that run a really good program.
Yeah.
Like if you.
I just I'll have to.
I'm so sorry that your sponsor failed you. Is all.
He just failed me.
Sponsors never fail, people. It was a joke.
I failed myself.
There's no failure.
There's no failure, and that is what I has brought me comfort this time around. Is like, oh, I can drink between meetings. People aren't going to scream at me and be like, you fucked up.
No.
People aren't going to get mad at me for being an
I'll
alcoholic.
roll my eyes every time you drink now.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You could get mad eventually.
I'm not getting mad because I understand the insidiousness, like I said, of the disease.
We'll do this podcast from a hospital bed if we have to. That'd be sad.
Do a Dr. Bob and Bill W move.
Yeah.
I will say, the last thing I'll say about coming back is one of the hardest things you could possibly do in this thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm really proud of you for doing that seriously.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage, not only to come back, but to say why you're back. And to pick up a white chip, get up and be like, look at me, I'm trying this again.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, and it doesn't feel like it's inspiring, but it is. And it takes a lot of courage to say your day count. And to tell me that you drank yesterday. Mm-hmm. And for me, last thing I'll say is whenever I was coming back, in my experience of coming in, coming out, you don't lose the experience that you have when you're doing well in the meeting. Mm-hmm. It builds and builds. And you take that experience that you had and you can jump right back really quickly. Yeah. Much like you snap right back at going out and outside and drinking, you can snap right back in the meeting. So that's all I'll say there. And why
I need to get back into it, not need to, but want to deep down, because it helps me live a life that is like, just life is tolerable, and I can do the things I want to do without.
My life's not possible without putting sobriety first.
Yeah, me too. And right now, I'm not really. It doesn't feel like I'm living because I've been going to work, but then drinking and coming home. And that's not my life. Consists of going to work, going to comedy, going to AA, and right now I'm not doing 2 of those 3 things, and it's just like that's a big part of my life. And
it shrinks it.
Yeah. And for me, ultimately, like I want
sphincter.
Yeah, I want comedy to be my life in some way, and I think what's gotten me down recently is like
so you can fit the gerbil in and then sit down.
Like Gary. No, who's the guy? Richard
Gere.
Dreyfuss.
Richard Gere. Richard Dreyfuss is like, hey, that wasn't me.
Aw,
I was Mr. Holland.
You sure? But I can't. I just can't do. There's stuff I need to work on as far as like comedy goes and how it makes me feel, and it's such a hard.
It's a trickle down thing, man.
Yeah, and I need to get over some emotions I've been feeling about it lately. And honestly, yeah, it's in there.
I'm thumping it. This first,
It's
and
in
then
there.
everything else is a trickle down.
But I'm happy. I don't feel like I'm dying today. I'm sober today.
Good.
There's no reason to keep dragging this out, though.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage to get on here and talk about it.
But I'll probably drag it out for a couple more days, and then we'll be done.
Don't do that. Just fucking don't do that.
Yeah.
But, I can say don't, and it's your choice.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the recap of.
Hopefully we'll be back next week.
That's the plan. Thank you, guys. I hope you listen, if you want to know more, you can text me or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe we should really send like a hotline link for this.
Yeah.
Hotline bling, hotline link.
I guess we'll figure out a Google thing or something.
I'll find
a
link and send
voicemail.
it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
For the AA hotline.
Okay. Well, I'm Taylor.
I'm Drew. I'm an alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict.
I did this to stay sober today.
Me too. And I talked to William.
Oh, cool.
That's his long form name. So ha ha ha. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
The biggest.